Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nate and it's time to pick out my November TBR. I am late doing this. I got poorly at the beginning of the month and that has kind of affected the way that I've been able to speak. I can actually speak now before I just couldn't. I had a bit of a life change as well at the beginning of November. I basically have gone from working night shifts to day shifts in the same company doing the same job just during the day again, which is what I initially did, but I moved over a year ago now to night shifts and I've done a year of night shifts and I do not like night shifts. It took me about a year to finally admit to myself that I just could not do night shifts. I was really struggling. I was able to change over to day shifts, which I'm so happy about. And I think it's really going to give me a lot more time to physically read. I was able to listen to loads of audiobooks during night shifts, but a physical reading and basically just lots of other things in my life in general really took a back seat, which is a shame. So I'm hoping to really turn that around now. I'm prefacing that to say I did absolutely terrible on my October TBR. I had 4 books from my TBR and I only read one of them. Especially for books that I own physically, I really want to try and physically read them. And so because I just haven't been physically reading, I didn't get through them. All of that to say, that was an absolute fail. So because I failed, I'll be picking a random book from my TBR jar at the start of the TBR to add on as a bonus. This cannot be added for any of the prompts and I have to read it to go and win the TBR. Now I am going to make a change to my game. In spite of doing terrible last month, I want to change it to make it slightly harder where I'm potentially going to get more books, just kind of for fun to see how it goes. But basically I'm going to change from using a D20 to 3 D6s, and then if I get double or triple numbers, I have to pick 2 or 3 books, depending on if there's 2 or 3. That might be crazy, and I might end up with tons of books, and I might regret it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have read a couple or started reading a couple of books in November since I'm already into November, so hopefully I can get those books on this TBR because that would be great. That would be an instant win. But yeah, we're going to start with my random one for my punishment. So we'll just go for this one, which I will let you guys read it first if you can, because my handwriting is, that's probably actually just horrendous. That says Shaman's Crossing. So Shaman's Crossing is by Robin Hobb, and I actually found the second and third book in a charity shop for this series for £1 each, and they were really like the cool, like old looking hardbacks. So I picked them up without realizing they were books 2 and 3, and then I then went ahead and bought this one. I have, however, heard since then that this is actually not a very popular series by Robin Hobb. A lot of people do not like it, but I do want to give it a read since I own it all. But I think I will not then put me off going into her realm of the Elderlings, which I do want to do at some point because I know that this series in particular is not well liked. I think it's an epic fantasy about a second son of a second son. I don't really know much else. I'm going to kind of go in completely blind and just see what I think about it. But yeah, this one is going to be the first book on it for the month. Hopefully I like it. Or hopefully I will be the outlier in quite like it, because I don't actually think it has a very high general rating either on Goodreads. But yeah, that is the first book on for the TBR. That's my punishment book. So I'm going to now play my TBR. I'm going to try and do this. I have not locked the cats out, so I'm going to try and do this without them like getting in the way. Roll number 1. We automatically have a double, and that is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 2 series pulls. So starting the month off with 2 series pulls. This is my lovely series jar. It has the titles of most of the series I'm in the middle of. I haven't quite updated it. But yeah, let's just see what 2 we're going to pull. We are going to, oh, he gave me quite a few. We do not need that many. Let's pull out this small one and this long one. Let's unroll them and have a little look. Kingdom Over the Sea. That's cool. I like that. And what does that say? Renegades. Oh, I have finished that series actually, so I can leave that out. Let's pull out another one. Let's go here. Hercule Poirot. So starting with the Hercule Poirot, the book I'm on at the moment, the next one is Peril at End House. And I am actually already in the middle of listening to this on audiobook for this month, so that works nicely. These are a detective series following our character, Hercule Poirot, who is a Belgian detective who teams up a lot of the time with his friend Captain Hastings, and they just solve murders. Very simple. I really enjoy them. I really like the narrator, who I recently Googled and found out that he actually portrayed Captain Hastings in the, I think it was a BBC series, which I've never watched. I think it was an 80s series, so I actually might go back and watch that. But I think that's quite cool then. And yeah, he narrates now all of the audiobooks. I specifically like choosing him because he does put on an accent for Poirot. I listened to one where someone didn't, and it just didn't feel the same. I really like the series, so carrying on with it with this one. These are very small, short audiobooks, so this is absolutely going to be a win for the month. And then I also got Kingdom Over the Seas. So the next book of that is The City Beyond the Stars. This is a middle grade series. In the first one, our main character, mum, goes missing, and she is set out to find her and ends up going to this kingdom over the sea where she basically realizes that's where she is originally from, and there is magic there, but the magic is being hidden and repressed, and she has to go on a bit of a journey to figure out how to save this cursed world. I really liked the first book, so I'm interested to see how the second one goes and like where we go from there. She ended up making a little group of friends in the first book, so I'm assuming the three of them are going to be venturing on together. So yeah, this is I think this is going to be a really fun read for the month as well. So that's a nice audiobook on for the month, as well as a nice little middle grade, so I look forward to that. So let's jump into roll number 2 for the month of November. Roll number 2. Another double, but that is 11. So we got 1, 10. That is another 2 series. Okay, so I got another 2 series. I'm going to pop Hercule Poirot back in because I wouldn't mind getting another one. So he's going to go back in. We're going to cover it, give it a good shake, and we just need another 2. Okay, let's see what ones we've got. Carrying on with series is... Does that say Percy Jackson? I think it does. Apologies, by the way, for my terrible handwriting. And then we go to Chaos Walking. So for Percy Jackson, I kind of just mean like the Percy Jackson whole universe, because I'm on Heroes of Olympus at the moment, and I'm on book 3, which is the Mark of Athena. And I've been really enjoying this series. You do have to read this series after the Percy Jackson series, as it follows kind of some similar characters, but you get a lot more characters in this book. You also get multiple POVs, and you get it from the third person perspective, which is my preferred way of reading. So I've been really enjoying it. Really like the second volume. I think this volume is going to throw us back to some characters who were with in the book 1. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that all collides and how these 2 new kind of groups of characters end up colliding and interacting with each other. For Chaos Walking, I'm on book 2, which is the Ask Any Answer. I really enjoyed The Knife of Never Letting Go. It made me cry a lot for a specific reason, but I did really enjoy it. It is a kind of sci-fi dystopian, maybe fantasy-esque question mark. I think it's more a sci-fi, but it's definitely a dystopian. It's kind of set in a world where women have basically gone extinct. Our main character, what's his name, Todd? Yeah, it is. Oh God, I can't believe I remembered that. Todd is the last boy to have been born before all of the women died. So he doesn't know, he doesn't remember any women. He was raised by these 2 men who were friends with his parents, and everyone can hear everyone else's thoughts, including like animals and like creatures, and it's really interesting. And then a girl appears, and Todd cannot hear her thoughts. She is like an absence, she's like a void of noise, and yeah, it's really interesting in that sense. There is a lot of like, I wonder if it will be in this one, interesting text, the way certain things play out, where it will have like, the text will be kind of written differently to kind of indicate sometimes inside voices and such. So yeah, really interesting concept. Really enjoyed the first book, so it's been a while. I do need to jump in the second one, so I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so that is books 4 and 5 on for the month of November. I am still feeling confident so far that I can do this, because I'm really looking forward to all of them. Let's go into roll number 3. Roll number 3. A double again. Okay, that though is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. White. That is a free pick. So I have 2 3 picks that I need to do. So let's go on to the next roll. Roll 4. A double again. Okay, but that is 16, which actually takes us to the end, I believe. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have a manga, and then the 2 prompts are a horror/thriller and owned for 5+ years, as well as a manga, which I'm going to let myself pick myself, and then I have to pick 2 books for my free pick. Oh, and 2 books for this. So I think I will split the book prompts. Okay, so we'll do the end spot picks first before I go tell you what my free picks are. I have remembered them this month. So for the manga, I really want to carry on with my love story. This is a YA romance series, kind of comedy as well, about our young main character here. He is a teenage boy, and he is an unlikable love interest main character, and he ends up dating this really cute girl in the first volume, and they're just really sweet together, and it's just kind of like everyday life and shenanigans. Wild things end up happening sometimes to them, but just kind of like their everyday life. But yeah, it's really sweet, it's really refreshing, it's very wholesome, and I really enjoy it. I own all the volumes, so I do want to finish it. For the book prompt horror or thriller, I'm going to be reading The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, except I have already read it in November, which is why I definitely wanted to try and get it on, as it's an automatic win. This is the Freida McFadden thriller that kind of blew up for her. I've read, this is probably my 5th Freida book. It's not my favourite, but I definitely think it's one I can see the appeal of it getting into, especially for people that have never read any kind of thrillery before. This was one that we read for my friend's book club, which we're having tomorrow actually. I'm interested to watch the movie after this. I do think Amanda Seyfried, although I love her and I think she's lovely and stunning, majorly miscast for this role based on the main character's description of what the character she's going to be like dealing with. Majorly miscast, which I think is a shame because it would have been really interesting to see it portrayed how it was supposed to be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the movie at some point anyway. I don't know if I'll watch it in cinemas, but I'll watch it at some point. But yeah, I enjoyed the book enough that I will carry on with the series. But yeah, that's an automatic win though for the month. So that's why I definitely wanted to get it on. It was going to be a free pick otherwise. And then for the book that I've owned for 5 years, I think I'm going to carry on with a series that I'm not sure if I'm going to carry on with after this. And that is Grim Tuesdays by Garth Nix. This is a middle grade fantasy series. And I read the first one and I ended up reading it twice because the first time I listened to it and I wasn't sure if I was like as invested in it. So I was like, no, I wanted to give it a second chance by physically reading it. And I think I did prefer it a bit better on a physical reread, but I don't know how much I want to I'm invested in the series to carry on with it. However, I own the first 5 volumes in a 7-volume series. So I'm like, I want to at least give it, I think, one more book to see how I feel about it. It's a book about an Australian boy who one day collapses during PE because he has an asthma attack, I believe. And as he is dying, he sees this guy like in a will being willed over to him, appear out of nowhere and gives him this key. It ends up being like a kind of a key to this kingdom that's kind of like an interdimensional kingdom. And yeah, it's got a lot of random stuff happens in this. It kind of gave me a like Ghibli feel in a way, in terms of stuff would happen that was kind of unexpected and unexplained, kind of whimsy-y, but I didn't love it is my issue. It was very okay, but sometimes it felt very rambly in those sections when it went off on the first volume. But I do want to give the second volume a try and see how I feel about it. So yeah, that is also going to go on for the 5+ years. I've owned this series, I think, since like 2009 or something, maybe even before then. So it's a long overdue that I actually try reading the rest of the series, because if I don't like it, I can donate them to the charity shop and they can cut off my collection once and for all. So yeah, that is going to be the book on for owned for 5+ years. And then for the 2 free picks, one of them in the middle of, which is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is a YA fantasy very much inspired by Japanese mythology. So far, it's pretty good. Like, I'm enjoying it enough. I own the whole trilogy. I got them for my birthday last year, I believe, and I have enjoyed the series so far. So, the book so far. So, I wanted to slip it in here because, like, obviously, yeah, I've already read it so far, and all in November, so that counts. So yeah, I want to get this in here for the month. And then the other 3 pick is a chunker, and is the biggest book on the TBR, but it is Diabound by Sable Sorensen. This is my family book club pick, my mum's pick. My mum is very much into her romantasy genre, and so she tries to force all of us to read it as well. But yeah, she also bought this copy for me though, so I can't complain. This is a adult romantasy series that has been pitched a lot, not to me personally, but like in videos, as Fourth Wing but with direwolves, which I actually really liked Fourth Wing. I read Iron Flame last month and I did enjoy it. So yeah, and I like direwolves. So I'm sure I will enjoy this to an extent. I don't know how much, but we'll see. And I would really like to physically read this. This is my sister's bookmark because she has started it. I'm looking forward to it. She definitely doesn't like this kind of genre stuff, whereas I do like it to an extent. But yeah, I've heard some mixed things about this though, because some people think this is the bee's knees, and I've heard some people say that they think it's crap. So, you know, there's always divisive opinions in, especially romantasy, I think, or feel. So all in all, that is the stack. I did have the Peril at the End House for my Hercule Poirot book. So we have Grim Tuesday, The Housemaid, Mark of Athena, Ask Any Answer, City Beyond the Stars, The Shaman's Crossing, My Love Story Volume 7, Shadow of the Fox, and Diabound. That is a pretty hefty stack, but I'm actually pretty optimistic that I'll be able to do it. I have already read one of these. I've already read 1.5 of these. I've listened to another one. I think this is going to be a good month. I think this could be a win. I really enjoyed playing with the 3 die instead of 1. I think it just adds a nice element. And I am going to be attempting to do some form of Bookmas in December. At the moment, I'm tentatively thinking of doing 12 videos, but like every other day. They're probably not going to be Christmassy related, but they're going to just be book related, with probably focusing on like kind of end of year, new year content. And yeah, that's my intention at the moment. I need to get around to filming them because if you are here as a viewer, you probably notice I don't actually post that much. I'm really hoping with my changing schedule that is going to change. It's been a week of me being in this so far and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot more motivated. I've got my evenings back, which is lovely. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Want to really do Bookmas, but so hopefully I will have a couple of videos that I do post in November. Some of them I will probably have been old videos, so I will have different hair because I dyed my hair at the beginning of November. So you may see some fluctuation in how I look throughout my videos over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, if I don't get around to posting, it's because I've been trying to concentrate on getting Bookmas ready. That is the plan anyway. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I always really appreciate it. If you want to leave me a comment with, what should we put? Let's put on a key Is there a lock? I don't know if there's a lock. If there's a key for the housemaid, if you want to leave me a comment with that emoji, that would be fantastic. I really, really appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you again hopefully soon. Bye.